If people keep telling you it's time to move on, that you should be over it by now, that you're grieving wrong, I want you to consider this. You're not grieving wrong, you're loving in past tense. The grief is just the shape your love takes when the person it was for is no longer here to receive it. Somewhere along the way, we turned grief into a project with a deadline. There are stages you're supposed to pass through, milestones you're supposed to hit, and an unspoken date by which you're meant to be back to normal. So when the wave still knocks you flat in the cereal aisle 2 years later, you start to wonder if something is broken in you. You add a second grief on top of the first, the grief of believing you're doing it wrong. But let me offer you a different picture. Think of love as a current that's been flowing toward one person for years. Every morning, every phone call, every small worry about whether they ate, whether they got home safe. All of it pointed in one direction, like a river running to the sea. Then the sea is gone. The river doesn't stop. It can't. It still rises every morning with somewhere to go and nowhere to put itself. That overflow, that ache of a current with no shore left to reach, is exactly what we call grief. So grief isn't the opposite of love. It's the same thing, wearing different clothes. The size of the ache is just the size of the love, made suddenly visible because it has nothing left to do. You're not failing to let go. You're still holding on in the only way that's left to you, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Let me tell you about someone. I'll call her Marion. She lost her husband of 40 years, and for a long time she did everything the world told her to do. She packed his clothes away quickly so they wouldn't haunt her. She accepted the casseroles, said the right things at the funeral, and went back to work after exactly the number of days that felt acceptable. And underneath all of it, she was quietly convinced she was getting it wrong, because the missing didn't shrink. It just got better at hiding. What finally changed for Marion wasn't that the grief left. It was the day she stopped trying to make it leave. She started talking to him again, out loud, in the kitchen, the way she always had. She kept his chair where it was. She let herself love him in the present tense, even though he could only meet her in the past one. And the strange thing was, once she stopped fighting the current, it stopped knocking her down. It just kept flowing, quietly, the way love does. There's real research underneath this, by the way. Psychologists used to teach that healthy grief meant cutting the bond and detaching from the person you lost. Then a body of work on what they call continuing bonds turned that on its head. They found that people who keep an ongoing relationship with the one they lost, who talk to them, keep their things, sense them on hard days, often heal more fully, not less. The goal was never to sever the love. It was to find a new place to keep it. So if you've been told you're grieving wrong, here are 3 things I want you to understand. First, grief has no timeline because love has no timeline. Nobody tells you to be done loving someone after a set number of months, so it makes no sense to be told to be done grieving them. The river runs as long as the river runs. How long you ache is simply a measure of how much there was, and that was never something to apologize for. Second, the ache is not a wound to be closed. It's a relationship to be tended. You don't have to choose between honoring them and living your life. You carry them forward. The love changes form from something you did with them into something you do because of them, but it doesn't have to end for you to be well. Third, what looks like being stuck is often just love that hasn't been allowed to speak. Grief gets complicated when we bury it to look strong. Let it move. Talk to them, write to them, say their name out loud. The current needs somewhere to go, and giving it a voice is how you keep it from flooding everything else. So I want you to stop measuring your grief against a clock that was never built for love. You weren't given too much sorrow. You were given a great deal of love. And this is simply what it looks like when it has nowhere to land. The author Jamie Anderson once said it more clearly than anyone. She wrote, "Grief is just love with no place to go." That's all this ever was. Not a sign you're broken, not proof you're failing, but love still flowing towards someone who can no longer catch it. You were never grieving wrong. You were just loving in the only tense you have left. So let it flow, and let it keep their name alive.